All right, fam, let's talk about this story up out of Michigan, Pontiac, Michigan, if you will, about these children that were found abandoned by their mother for about 4 years and they were just found. Uh, let's get into it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Let's hit it.
We've seen the photos and you hear about this and it's hard to comprehend that these kids were abandoned since basically spring of 2020. So what happened today? Oakland County prosecutor Karen McDonald charging 34-year-old Kelly Bryant, that's the mother, with three counts of first degree child abuse. That is the most severe that felony can be. So she is facing up to life in prison. And, the investigation is still ongoing because there's so many questions that have still been going, through everyone's minds, right? The number one being, why they're still trying to figure that out with their investigation. But, these kids, they are currently under the custody of the Department of Health and Human Services, living with a relative. They are recovering. But when you hear just some of these terrible things these kids went through, no toilet paper, a bathroom that didn't work, too scared to go outside. The only time the little boy went outside was, one, to get the mail, and two, to touch the grass. It's just a terrible, terrible thing. Take a listen to what Prosecutor McDonald had to say.
This is the worst I've ever seen. And I've stopped saying that because every time I say that, I see something worse. It was unbelievable what they were living with for years. These kids, not to have even basic hygiene tools. And I guess what stands out the most for me is no love.
How old was the boy? Like 15? You mean to tell me that a 15-year-old, okay, you was abandoned by your mom for almost 5 years. Didn't know how to flush your toilet, brush your teeth, anything like that. That's, man, the brainwashing. But let's say the kids were going to school before she left, so they had to know how to do certain things just to even get into school. Because if this, so let's say the boy was like 10 when his mom left. Me and telling this boy went to school, never went to the restroom, didn't stink, what I'm saying, didn't look malnourished, what I'm saying, wasn't no free lunch, whatever the kid did, didn't wear different clothes or the same clothes, nothing stood out to these teachers as to something is wrong with these children. Because I've known teachers to intervene or to call child protective services on parents for stuff not even this bad, for even the most smallest things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of wondering, like I said, who dropped the ball outside of the mom and dad?
Nobody there to care for them for between 3 and 4 years. No parent, nobody physically present to let them know that they were safe and they were loved.
And you hear that. Nobody physically present. So you might be wondering, how does that even happen? Well, just from hearing from Sheriff Bouchard and Prosecutor McDonald, the boy had access to a phone. He would text his mom when their food supply was running low. And occasionally she would order things off Instacart or DoorDash. For example, we've heard near the end, before they found these kids, they were getting a loaf of bread sent to them to be spent over, 3 or 4 days to survive. So, just really, really bad conditions. So there's a lot still unfolding in this case. Bryant expected to be arraigned tomorrow morning. Of course, we'll cover that. For now, reporting live in Pontiac, Scott Walchek, Fox 2 News.
And Scott, you just said that the child, the oldest son, had a phone that he would text his mother.
The older woman with the low cut blouse, showing all the jewelry, showing all the neck lineage, and anyway.
Do we know why he didn't call for help or didn't even go to a neighbor and say what they were living in? I mean, did she possibly threaten them if they did say something? Because a lot of people are probably wondering that right now. And where do they go from here?
Yeah, police have said that these kids were living in fear, right? So the mom, it's unknown exactly, the exact quote she said or what the threat was, but they were terrified to go outside, right? And even when the police came to the home, they were hiding. The two little girls were in a bathroom. The little boy was hiding somewhere else. So it's just a really sad and messed up case. They're still investigating, right? Because we know that the mom is being charged. They're still investigating family, other types of contacts to see if there could be more charges coming down.
All right. Thanks for that update. It's still just a heartbreaking story.
So, questions. One, people talk about the dad. Where was the father? From what I've read, trying to read through different articles, the dad was, I guess, in jail and had got out recently, trying to gain custody of the kids, but she denied. I mean, visitation. I think he was trying to get visitation. The mom denied visitation. Where was what do you call it? The is it AOE? Ad litem, some kind of attorney ad litem for the children where were they at? Did they not go and do a welfare check on the kids in the past? I don't know how many years, 4 years or whatever. They say the mom brought food, and then they say strangers brought food, but I think the strangers might have been the DoorDash people, or the Instacart people or whatever. And then you see that they said that the kids were living in fear. I'm wondering if the mom was part of, I don't know, a victim of sex work, to say it lightly. You know how they try to say reproductive rights. Well, when they run, for the Democrats, when we know what they mean, let's just keep it politically correct and just say she might have been, like a physical worker. Let's say it like that. I'm wondering because if they're in fear, then if she put fear in them, then maybe somebody put fear in her. I'm just going to try to be the devil's advocate because I just can't see anyone doing their kids like this. And also, this many years, it's like, regardless of what kind of work you in or what's going on, how do you allow this to happen to your children? You see your children, you see, like I said, the hair is all matted. I know when you open that door, that smell will probably knock you over. Hell, they said the people that came in to do an investigation had to wear hazmat suits. So, I mean, damn, but then, neighbors say they didn't. People ask about what about the neighbors? How come the neighbors never saw the kids? Neighbors said they never saw the children. Neighbors said they didn't know the children lived there. They said they saw the woman come from time to time, but they never saw the children. The landlord, I see those are like connecting, adjoining houses. So I don't know if it was like a company that was renting out the apartment complex, or if it was like an individual person renting out the condo. Because if it was a company, and let's say you got they have to come in and do checks periodically. Well, not every 5 years. Hell, even if it was the landlord, something is going to tear up in 5 years. If you've owned a house before, something, uh, plumbing, something is going to tear up, break down within 5 years. You're going to have a pipe burst. Hot water heater going to break. You're going to have a leak. Refrigerator going to go out. Wash and dry. Toilet going to back up. Especially if you got kids in the house. Toilet is going to back up. So something's going to happen in that house to where you're going to have to call your landlord because you got to fix, because the landlord is responsible to fix everything. So for him not to be there in 5 years, but he said he hadn't heard from the lady since December is the reason why he went to the apartment anyway. Is the only reason why he went there. Saw what's happening, then called 911. Amazing. But you know what? I want to read something real quick because we want to talk about family. It's like how can family not see their family members, little kids, in like 5 years? Because I know, let's say my mom, if I didn't talk to my mother in a matter of days, she would call, reach out and say, hey, how you doing? Just checking on everybody, make sure everything's cool, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Checking on the grandbaby. Let me talk to the grand. Are everybody doing okay? Blah, blah, blah. That would be a conversation within, I'm going to say, a matter of days. I'll even give it a matter of weeks, but it won't be a matter of years. There's no in the world that my mom would allow me to not, unless we just have a big, like let's like a big fight. Let's say it's a big fight. Never happened. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to think of scenarios that to where maybe the family would not get in contact with the children. It could be like a big fight, and we get into it, and so I don't want to see because I mean I've seen that happen. I've seen it happen with people I know. You know, people don't see family for years. So that could be it. So, but anyway, I want to read this quick article. This is also from Fox2Detroit.com. And it reads, this is horrendous. Former sister-in-law reacts after children found abandoned in filthy Pontiac home. It says a former sister-in-law of a Pontiac. Oh, they say the woman had 4 kids. Let me say that. Say she had 4 kids, but the 4th kid went to go live with their father. So why couldn't these 3 kids go live with, well, if the father was in jail or with the father's family? I'm wondering. I'm wondering. I'm always interested in the backstory. That's what I want to see. What led up to this problem? Because we always see these problems like the lady who kids supposedly died of hypothermia, hell, just a few days ago. And the dad, no, I don't talk about that dude. But anyway, the dad was a nobody, was a deadbeat. His children were little. The mom said she was trying to do everything. Everybody in her family was homeless. They was living in hotels, you know what I'm saying, in and out of hotels. She just got a job, living in her car, ran out of gas, whatever the case. Children died because of circumstances. I always want to know what the backstory is. Like, how did they get to that point? How did you get to a point to where your whole family, you, your mama, your 2 siblings, and your 3 or 4, because I think she had 4 kids. So I don't know if all 4 kids were with her or was the other kids, or was the other kid with their dad. I'm not sure. But like I said, I always want to know the backstory on how you get to that point. 'Cause that's the only way you can fix it. We can all, you know what I'm saying, cry and, you know what I'm saying, say, woe is thou, and send money on Cash App. But until we know the backstory of how situations get, how these kids get in these situations, it'll never get fixed. But I tell you one thing. This is why the importance. This emphasizes the importance of family, of and of having a family. When I say family, mother, father, kids living in a home together, and that's just be the end all to be all. And don't care how you take it, don't care how you feel, because hell, I'm divorced from my first wife with, you know, some of my 2 daughters, but still, that wasn't my goal. That isn't what we said. That wasn't what I set out for to happen. Because I understand the importance of family in raising your children in one household with one dad, one mother. I understand that. Whether it's not gonna always be perfect, but you reduce the chances of things like this happening. You reduce the chances of a woman being on the street and her kids dying in her car in sub-zero temperatures. You reduce the risk of that happening. You reduce the risk of anything happening to these children when you have a family structure. When you all live in the same neighborhood. It used to be, you hear stories from, go to these small towns or talk to your grandparents, and they tell you how they all grew up together in the town. Brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles down the street, all went to the same school or lived near each other, could know how to get in contact with each other, reach out to each other, you know what I'm saying, hang out, work together, this, that, and the third. We that stuff was important. And even in these small towns, that stuff is important to them, because, or to us, because regardless of how you look at it, the family structure is important, because you gotta have somebody's back, and somebody gotta have your back when it comes down to it. So if you're not living in the same neighborhood, so it's important to buy a house if you're in a house and staying in that neighborhood, so your neighbors can. I remember living in a neighborhood in Louisville, and me and, let's say, one, two, three, four, five, six of us, and that we all stayed like this little old spot in these houses. In the first house I had bought, and the families knew each other. The family knew each other. Kids knew each other. Matter of fact, even some of the kids, they still communicate with each other. Matter of fact, some of the families now, some of us have like moved out, like I done moved, and another guy moved to another state. Another guy, I think, I don't know, him and his ex are not together no more. But at the time, everybody knew each other. Everybody was cool with each other. Everybody trusted each other with their family. They, you know what I'm saying? Parties coming over, you know, whatever the case, watch over the house if somebody wasn't there. You know, took care of each other with house stuff, yard stuff. You know, some husband, wives, we was all cool like that. That's what a neighborhood's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. But when you move all the time, well, hell, she lived here 4 years, and nobody knew her. You know what I'm saying? Knew who the kids lived there. But that's what the importance to me of neighborhood. Family isn't just blood. Family can also be, like I said, the area that you live in. But anyway, let me get back to the story. What to say? Pontiac, Michigan. A former sister-in-law of a Pontiac mother accused of leaving her children alone in squalor for years reacted to her arrest, saying she didn't even know the kids were in her custody. Charged. Now this woman is on like a what, $250 million bond. Oh well. Charges of child abuse were announced Wednesday against Kelly Bryant 34 days after authorities said her 3 children were found living alone in a filthy home. Charlene, this is horrendous, said Charlene Bryant, Kelly's ex-sister-in-law. Charlene said she hadn't seen Kelly's family since around 2020, which is around when she allegedly abandoned her 3 children in a condo. She said she last heard Kelly's mother. She said she last heard Kelly's mother was taking care of the kids, now 15, 13, and 12. So they're not little babies. Damn, 15, 13, 12. However, the children weren't with their grandmother. They were allegedly staying alone inside a home on Lydia Lane, with Kelly dropping off food every so often. It also said in the indictment that she claimed like 2 addresses. So that's makes you wonder. I'm kind of shocked. It's this horrific, Charlene said. I'm devastated. Charlene noted that she knew Kelly was close with her family, so she didn't understand how they didn't know about the neglect. I honestly don't know how the family didn't know, she said. Oakland County prosecutor Karen McDonald touched on the topic of Kelly's family when announcing charges against her. Quote, morally, there is plenty of responsibility to go around for how this was allowed to happen. However, these 3 kids were entrusted to the care of their mother, Kelly Bryant, and the evidence suggests that she effectively abandoned them to a revolting pit of refuse and squalor, she said. Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard said deputies were called for a welfare check at a home on Lydia Lane. The landlord called after he said he had not heard from the mother since December, and that rent was last paid in October. So that's what made him go there. Okay. He told officers that he was concerned something had happened. Deputies arrived and found the home full of garbage, piled as high as 4 feet in some rooms. The rooms were also covered in mold and human waste. The toilet was overflowing and the bathtub was full of feces. Now, back to the landlord. Now, it's possible that he could have, let's say, a bunch of properties, which means it's quite possible he had a management company. So let's say the management company didn't. So if she hadn't paid rent, if he would have had a management company, then they would have, left letters, did a welfare check or whatever to find one. But they also said that she told the kids not to answer the door. So that can make sense. So that means it's probably why he had to come and go check on his house. Deputies arrived and found a home full of garbage, piled as high as 4 feet in some rooms. The rooms were also covered in mold and human waste. The toilet was overflowing and the bathtub was full of feces. Man, the home was being lived in by 3 children alone. The boy, the oldest of the siblings, said they lived in the home with their mother, but that she abandoned them in either 2020 or 2021, at least 4 years ago, when the child would have been 11, 9, and 8. They still should have knew how to damn flush a toilet by then. But if the toilet is backed up, because think about it, hell, look, girls. Come on now. Anybody live in a house full of women? Full of girls? Or kids, period? Woo, mercy. The toilet paper they use. There was a time when there was 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, maybe 5 females and one little boy that stayed in my house. And they all used one toilet on one side of the house. Man, you talking about having a plunge toilet all the time. Just a lot of people. There's a lot of people using the toilet. It's going back us. All I'm saying. I mean, and it's not nothing to be, no, not degrading people in my house. I'm just saying that's just typical because, like, but like I say, on our side of the house, I might have probably plunged the toilet maybe once in the 7 years I've been here. That's all I'm saying. Just you got a bunch of kids like to use toilet paper. You got to watch them. You go through toilet paper like toilet paper. You just got to watch them. That's all. So if you got a 9, 11, 9, and 8-year-old trying to shoot, man, they use toilet paper like a sun gun. So the children survived on food that was dropped off on the front porch each week by either their mother or a stranger who was probably a DoorDash person, but they had no access to toilet paper or personal hygiene items. That's terrible, man. That's god awful. That your mom didn't even think about buying you no toilet paper in 5 years. What the hell you wiping with? The shirt. Why wouldn't she just go ahead and let these kids just get taken? Because I don't understand it. I always tell people, think about the stuff you're doing. Think about the consequences of what you're doing. And whatever those consequences were, multiply by at least 10. Because your mind, for some reason, will not allow you to think of the worst that could happen to you. Kids could have died. You can go to jail facing life imprisonment and $250 million fine, bail. Never see the light of day. Kids get put in the system and who knows, get ran through the system and go through hell just on that alone. And it's not their fault because they didn't ask to be here. One of your kids is back with their father. The other 3, again, for 4 years. Okay, even if you have siblings, like, why didn't that dad like kind of try to reach out to you and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying, little boy, little Johnny, little Susie wanna, you know what I'm saying, asking about their brothers and sisters, wonder if they can holler at them. 4 years? I don't know. But they had no access to toilet paper. The sheriff said they were unfamiliar with personal hygiene and didn't even know how to flush a toilet. And they watch TV all day. Yeah, even Sesame Street taught you how to flush your toilet and brush your teeth. They had also not attended school since she left them and instead passed time by watching TV or playing games. The sheriff, so there's electricity in there. So probably the landlord leaving electricity on because you don't want the electricity turned off. The sheriff said the girls had not been outside in several years. The boys slept on a mattress on the floor, but the 2 girls slept on the pizza boxes. According to deputies, neighbors were unaware that children lived in the home and had never seen them. They said they had seen their mother at the home each month. The kids were all wearing soiled clothing and matted hair and toenails so long that it was difficult to walk. Man, this is a sad, sad story. This is like I said, what's going on up there in Michigan, man? This mother here, I don't know how to call it, but everyone's not fit to be a mother. I'll say that, or a parent. I'll say that. But you have 4 kids. Now, from what I'm hearing, she got a social media page where she's like talking very sexual and promiscuous to guys online. So that's what makes me wonder if she was part of that profession, if you want to call it. But whatever the case, man, we have to come together more as a community, as a family. We got to. The kids are suffering. People want to complain about Donald Trump, Doge, Elon Musk. You make a big fuss about that. Protests, get on the Senate floor, make a big fuss about that. But when a young lady such as this one does this to children, I don't see anyone on the Senate floor. I don't see anyone in these Divine Nine groups, preachers. I don't see anyone in any political party, any organization that's supposed to be pro-black, NAACP, I just said that, NAACP, United Negro College Fund. I don't see anyone in these organization, Black Lives Matter. I don't see no one in these organizations that's supposed to be for us actually really looking out for us. You're not going to see none of them at the courthouse. I'm sure there was none at the courthouse today when she got arraigned, but she got arraigned on a Zoom call from what I saw. Somebody recorded the Zoom call, so it'll probably be posted on YouTube sometime soon, like the clear version. But you don't see nobody. You're not going to see nobody at the courts. You know what I'm saying? Crying, hollering that she should not be put out, that she should not be let out of jail. She should rot in jail, and that they're going to take care of the kids, and that they're going to donate money to a GoFundMe or donate money to the children so they can be taken care of, help get them put in the house, improve the welfare system, the orphanage system, improve the the child protective services organizations throughout the country. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see them doing that. The only thing you're going to see them talk about is reproductive rights in the LMNOP community having rights, but they're not going to talk about the children's rights. You know why? Because reproductive rights, or let's just call it baby deletion rights, goes against helping children. LMNOP rights goes against helping children because those two things make sure that you don't have children. So you're not going to see them do that. But we will. If I see a GoFundMe, if I see some way to help these kids, I'll post in the link in the description box. I'm going to do that. I try to do what I can from afar. Hopefully everybody else can do it. But the mom, she's no mother. She needs to have that title stripped from her. She doesn't deserve that title. Kids deserve better, and hopefully they'll get better. If she goes to jail for the rest of her life, I probably wouldn't care. Wouldn't, would understand it. Don't want to hear, she needs to be rehabilitated and all. The woman's grown. The woman's 34 years old. If her oldest child is, what did they say he was, 15, and she's 34, that means she had a kid around about 18, 19, about 19 years old. So she wasn't a baby. It ain't like she had a baby while she was in like grade school, like junior high school. She was supposedly out of school. So she was of age to understand. And what kills me is they have one kid, can't take care of them, and then they have freaking 3 more kids and still can't take care of them. So, had 3 more kids and you still can't. I don't understand how people's minds just don't click. If you can't afford the kids, doggone it, don't have them. Go to the store, get you some condoms, go to the doctor, get you some pills, do something to make sure you don't have no children. If you're going to have to do things that normal people do to make children, because if you don't know how children are born, I could tell you a story. I could teach you how children are born. I mean, how children are conceived if you just don't remember. But you do it 4 times, I'm sorry, I have no sympathy for you. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below. Share with the world. Have an intelligent conversation. You know how we do around here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you maybe a couple of minutes out your day, but it means the world to us at this channel. If you would like to support financially, you can give super thanks, super chat, super stickers, or you can go to the description box where there are a couple of links there you can click on to help us out there. Don't forget to also hit that shop button and go to marlonmorelli.com. Those are two website and link you can click on where you can get something tangible, for your visit, instead of just handing out money freely all willy-nilly. Go ahead and buy you some products that you can get like fair exchange. That's what I would rather you do. Now, don't get me wrong. All donations are accepted, but if you want something tangible, I got it for you. But with that, it's like what I got. I got colognes, perfumes, silks, beard products, handbags, and much more. Check it out. Hit the shop button or go to marlonmorelli.com. You will not be disappointed. And with that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.